I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in the nation where they will be not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. This is a segment from the I Have a Dream speech during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom on 28 August 1963. I'm Staff Sergeant Calhoun, Ethan Calhoun. Today I'll be going over Martin Luther King, the man, not the civil rights activist and leader. I'll be going over his life, education, family, and death and legacy. Martin Luther King was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He was born to Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. and Alberta Williams. He's a middle child. He has an older sister and a younger brother. He grew up in the sweet Auburn Hills of Atlanta, Georgia. It was a nice neighborhood at the time, and a lot of well-known black African Americans lived there, and well-respected African Americans lived there at the time. A lot of people don't know this, but when he was born Michael Luther King Jr. His father attended the 5th Baptist World Alliance Congress in Berlin in 1934, and he changed him and his son's name, which is Martin Luther King Jr., and he switched their names in honor of a German reformer. At the age of 12, he tried to commit suicide by jumping out a second-story window. After the death of his grandmother, he was really close to her. Luckily, it's a good thing he survived. Education. So he grew up in the South, and a lot of people know, like, back in those days, it was really segregated. He went to segregated schools all the way up until high school. While at high school, he still was in a segregated school. He went to Booker T. Washington, graduated at the age of 15. Upon graduation, he attended Morehouse College. He also earned a Bachelor of Divinity degree and won a prestigious fellowship award at the Crozar Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania. Upon doing that, he got a doctorate degree from Boston University. His marriage. We're going to get into his marriage real quick. So this is his family, his 4 kids, his wife Coretta, and there's Dr. Martin Luther King right there. So he met Coretta Scott while attending Boston University through a mutual friend. They settled in Montgomery, Alabama. They were married on June 18, 1953. Their 4 children, Yolanda Denise King, Martin Luther King III, Dexter Scott King, and Bernice Albertine King. We're gonna talk about his the first time he was almost assassinated. So that lady right there is Azulia Curry, and she tried to assassinate him in Harlem on 20 September 1958 at his book signing. He was at a book signing for his book Stride Toward Freedom. The weapon she used was a letter cutter, and she stabbed him a few times. As you can see, he's in the hospital bed right there. On April 4th, 1968, he was shot and killed by James Earl Ray in Memphis, Tennessee at the Lorraine Motel. So at the funeral, his wife paid for the funeral and all the expenses with the money he earned from his books and his marches. Can you go to the next slide, please? So as you can see, this is the room like where he was staying at. That's all the memorial. Like, that's how many people like truly loved him for all the things he did. We're gonna get into his legacy now. So me personally, I know there's like thousands of cities or hundreds of cities that are named, like have streets named after him. I'm sure you guys have all been on a street where you were on Martin Luther King Boulevard, Martin Luther King Drive. So me personally, I've driven in streets in Atlanta, Georgia, St. Louis, Missouri, Chattanooga, Memphis, Knoxville, Tennessee, Austin, Texas, Hopkinsville, and Louisville, Kentucky, and Oklahoma City. Those are streets I personally driven on that were named after Martin Luther King. Achievements. During his time, he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. Can you click on that? Oh, so there's the Learning Motel. It is now a Civil Rights Museum, and that's the room he was staying in, and it stays to this day. That's how it looks. So back to his achievements. He had won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964, American Liberties Medallion, Spring Arm Medal, the Margaret Sanger Award, and then, as we all know, tomorrow is January 15th. So every third Monday in January is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and he's still considered an American hero for all the things he did for the Civil Rights Movement. Conclusion. So, as you guys know, I didn't talk about any of the Civil Rights Movement, like any of the bus boycotts, because my goal today was to teach you guys about the man behind all that, the family man, and how he grew up. This concludes my speech.